So today we're going to be looking at Pythagoras' theorem, and this time we're going to be finding a short side. So once again, it's going to be very similar to the previous one, except we're going to have to use a little bit of algebra. Why? Because we know C, and in this case we know A, and the thing we don't know is B. Right? We know C is the longest side because once again, even though we don't know the length of B, we can see that it's opposite the right angle, so we definitely know that's the hypotenuse. So here we go. Let's substitute everything we know into Pythagoras' theorem. Alrighty, so C is equal to 25, A is equal to 7. So we get 25 squared is equal to 7 squared plus B squared. Alrighty, but the problem is, once again, I need to get B by itself. And currently, B has this annoying plus 7 squared on it. Anyway, 25 squared is 625. 7 squared is 49. And now I'm going to start doing some algebra. Step 1, let's take 49 from both sides to move the 49 to the left-hand side, which leaves us with 576 is equal to b squared. And once again, the opposite of squaring is the square root, and so we're going to get the square root of 576 is equal to b. Therefore, b is equal to 24. Alrighty. So, with a little bit of algebra, we can now find a short side. Let's look at one more example. Alrighty. So let's have a look at this one. So once we're going to get 56 millimeters here, 4 centimeters here, and we're not sure about this one. It's a bit hard to say which is the shortest side out of these two, so I'm going to call this one A, this one B, and this one has to be C. Why? Because it is opposite. It is the hypotenuse, and it is opposite the right angle. So, using Pythagoras' theorem, C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. But just like last episode, units are different. So let's convert them to the same units. This becomes a choice whether you prefer centimeters or millimeters. In this case, I'm going to say I prefer centimeters. So let's convert this into centimeters. Well, to do that, we're going to divide by 10, which gives us 5.6 centimeters. And once again, confirms the fact that although 56 and 4 are different looking units, 5.6 centimeters is bigger than 4 centimeters. So C is equal to 5.6. B is equal to 4. So then we've got to find A. So let's do our substitution. We get 5.6 squared is equal to A squared, we don't know what A is yet, plus 4 squared. Now 5.6 squared is going to be a pretty ugly number, so I'm actually not going to work it out. Instead, I'm just going to subtract 4 squared from both sides to get rid of the 4 squared. Alrighty, so on the right-hand side, I'm just left with A squared. On the left-hand side, I'm left with 5.6 squared minus 4 squared. Alrighty. And once again, this whole thing is going to be a very ugly number. If I actually have to work it out, it's going to be a little bit nasty. So rather than that, I'm just going to take the square root of both sides just with the decimal point. 5.6 squared minus 4 squared is equal to A. And now, at the very end, I'm going to type this into my calculator and see what it gives me. And I was correct, because you can see that when you get the decimal back, you get 3.91918. Goes on for a very, very long time. In fact, my guess is that it'd go on forever. Now this is the number of centimeters, and we've got to round it to some point. So I'm going to round it to the nearest millimeter, which would be 1 decimal place. So it gets rid of that, and the 9 we're going to round down because it is a 1 as the next digit. And that's the number of centimeters. Alrighty. So just in case you're wondering, you can rearrange everything and then type it into your calculator once, or like in the previous example, you can do steps of it and then put it in your calculator gradually. It's up to you. Just make sure your units are the same before you substitute them in. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.